Hi everyone, I'm Joyce and now I'm going to talk about our group answer for end of chapter for business law. So our question is, on November 2018, Melvin, aged 28 years old, registered himself and Sandra, aged 16 years old, under the registration of Business Ordinance as trading in partnership under the name of Melvin's Piano Academy. At the same time, Melvin and Sandra wrote to Lala Bank in Kuala Lumpur, applying to open a current account in their names and stating they were partners of a firm, and checks of the account would be signed by both of them. Both Melvin and Sandra came to De La Salle company to buy 2 units of piano for Melvin's Piano Academy. So I would like to talk about the first question. State one issue on agency. So my answer is whether Sandra, who is a minor, are allowed to be overdrawn to buying piano for Melvin's Piano Academy. So second is explain the most suitable type of agency with elaborations. So Sandra is an agent named as powers of attorney. Powers of attorney is legal instrument under which principal donors confer authority on agents, attorneys or donors to perform certain acts for the principal. Unlike most other agency relationships, powers of attorney are governed by statute viz. The Powers of Attorney Act 1949. The Rules Committee established by the Courts of Judicature Act 1964 and 91 may from time to time make rules under and in accordance with the Act for, first, prescribing the fees to be charged under this Act, and second is prescribing the charge to be made for the attestation of an instrument creating a power of attorney under Section 3. So now let's continue with Augustine Harrison.
So the conclusion is authority granted to an agent by the terms of a written or oral agreement between the agent and the principal. The power of attorney is construed strictly by the terms of the contract and limited to given purpose. Okay, so second one, question 2, number 1. Explain the maxim caveat emptor principle with relevant provision. So the answer is, it is the contract law principle that places the ones on the buyer to perform due diligence before making a purchase. The term is commonly used in a real property transaction as it relative to the sale of real estate property after the debt closing, but it also applies to the transaction of other types of goods such as cars or caveat emptor disclaimer is intended to resolve dispute that arise from information and symmetry, a situation in which the seller has more information than the buyer about the quality of a good or service. That's all. Thank you.
Next, discuss the exception available on the maxim of caveat emptor principle with the situation above. There can be a partnership between Melvin and Sandra to open a business under the name of Melvin's Piano Academy. This is another important exception. If the seller obtains the consent of the buyer by fraud, then caveat emptor will not apply. Also, if the seller conceals any material defect of the goods which are later discovered on closer examination, then again the buyer will not be responsible. The caveat emptor principle does not apply when the seller provides false information to the buyer. Please refer to section 16 bracket 2.